We did.
All right, I told you I'd surprise you with how we start this. You ready?
Oh, no.
So here's why I'm sad right now. I'm just kidding.
See, I'm not even surprised by that, though.
Ow. Okay. I just said that because some of the our past episodes have had a little bit of sad connotation to them. So, also, because we're doing this episode kind of without structure again, because...
And late as fuck again.
Well... Thanks for censoring yourself, guy.
Shoot. I'm sorry.
Whatever.
I told you.
You know what? No, we're keeping that.
It's
because
late.
I want you
tired.
to listen to this, and I want you to feel bad.
I forgot there's censorship, bro.
Well,
I said censorship.
oh, I thought you said.
No, I said
else.
censorship.
Okay, well, where I was going with that was, hello again, everybody. We didn't really announce it because. I'm kind of getting to a point where I don't really want to... You told me about this. I don't really want to announce the episodes anymore. I kind of just want whoever's listening now to just expect there to be an episode. Maybe this week we announce again because of the whole bye-week situation. But yeah, last week I didn't really think that there was anything super important that was going on with either of us that required... us to put it on the podcast, and I didn't want to force anything. Mm-hmm. So, even though that's basically what we're doing right now, but that's okay.
Not really.
I mean, I have some stuff to talk about. We had some stuff to talk about last week. We recorded an episode, but
that was just going to journals.
Shortly before, yeah, that was more just a journal. It wasn't really something that I felt like we should publicize. So, but I mean, if you guys want to hear it, then maybe we'll do a doubleheader this week, and you can hear what happened last week. But,
boom, boom.
Yeah. So I started off the way that I did just because of some of the past stuff maybe that we've talked about has been a little on the mellower side of things.
Yeah.
So
mellow.
Yeah. I wasn't trying to say sad. I was going to say mellow, but
I was going to say mellow. I think that's the opposite of mellow.
Depends on how you look at it. But yeah, we have to get back into the cycle now because of the hour of which we're recording this, but also because we haven't recorded an episode in a week or so of not saying like or having long pauses.
I don't think that would be the problem. I think the long pauses might be a problem because
I think you cussing like a minute ago was probably the issue. But no, like I said, we're going to keep it because I don't even blame you, to be honest.
Well, I literally forgot. It's been 2 weeks since we recorded an episode, and I am exhausted as poop. And we just finished watching a movie, so like my brain's kind of like checked out. I'm not checked out, but I'm just tired, to say the least. And I'm not laying down though. And we're recording in my room.
Surprisingly. You're going to get there, though. I
know you said this is going to be a short episode.
Yeah, but not like 10 minutes. It's going to be shorter. Yeah,
I was thinking short.
Bon, he lays down. But yeah, so at the time that we're recording this, Thomas and I, he's already seen it, but we just finished watching Interstellar.
I love the movie.
And a lot of people's, I don't want to say criticism, but a lot of people's analysis, I guess, of the movie was that it was just very confusing. And because it's a Christopher Nolan film, and with Inception and Tenet, he has a track record of just making movies that you just have to sit and Google what the heck you just watched.
Basically confusing as heck.
But for whatever reason, after watching Interstellar, I wasn't super confused. We talked about it, and there were some things in the movie that at the time maybe were confusing, but I thought about it as the movie went on, and I was just like, that it makes enough sense to where I'm not like, because I watched Thomas hasn't seen it, but I watched Tenet, and I still don't know what I watched. I finished that movie.
Is it just as long?
Completely confused. Yeah.
Okay.
It's 2 hours and 45 minutes. I
Does
think
it have like Matt Damon and everything as well?
So that's the other thing. Which I think, wow, oh my, we not doing this again, bro. That's one thing that I think is really interesting because Christopher Nolan has sort of like, do you know who Martin Scorsese is? The other, no. shaking his head. Martin Scorsese's a really, really good director. He's trying to think of well, he directed Wolf of Wall Street, and
obviously I haven't seen that.
Yeah, but we were just talking about Wolf of Wall Street, and other films that I just can't think of right now. Head. But yeah. So where was I going with this? You don't know. I don't know. I'm looking to you for validation.
I was about to say, you just talked about the director.
So Martin Scorsese has, I'm pretty sure this is the case, he has some actors and or actresses that he's pretty consistent with. And what the heck was that? Okay. He has some directors. Cole, get it together. He has some actors and actresses that he just likes to consistently cast in his movies. Quentin Tarantino, who directed Pulp Fiction that you were also talking about, does the same thing. Like, there's 2 or 3 people that are in almost all of his movies. And Christopher Nolan, Michael Caine. So Christopher Nolan directed the Christian Bale Batman trilogy.
Oh.
Like The Dark Knight, Dark Knight Rises.
That makes
sense. Michael Caine, Alfred, in those movies, was in this movie. He played the professor. And Anne Hathaway, who played his daughter, was Catwoman in Batman. So he has... Some directors have that. So Christopher Nolan, Martin Scorsese, and Quentin Tarantino have a couple actors and actresses that they just like to continue to cast throughout their movies.
That's the same with Adam Sandler when he directed his...
What?
Huh?
What?
What? What do you mean, what?
That just took such a curve for some reason.
No, because Adam Sandler does the same thing. Like, whenever his movies that he, that goes public, I don't know what I was trying to say. He has, like, the same cast that he usually directs. He has the same people as the cast. That's what I was trying to say.
What has he directed?
Like, his own movies. Like, Remote.
He directed those? Did he direct, like, Happy Gilmore in them? No shot.
I'm pretty sure. If not, he wrote the story. What do you think this means?
Well, I know he just recently actually came out with... Oh, I can't remember the name of it. Some basketball movie that got put out on Netflix that I've actually heard is pretty good.
I'm pretty sure he's directed that. He directed most of his movies. That's why he has like a lot of the same cast.
Okay, he didn't direct Happy Gilmore. What did you say? Remote?
Or
wasn't it called like Click or something?
Oh, Click. Yeah. Sorry.
Yes, my favorite Adam Sandler movie, Button Press.
Sorry, I've been thinking about...
He also didn't direct that either. So not only did you get the movie name wrong, but he didn't direct it. And let me tell you guys, it's been quite the night. Not only did we watch Interstellar, but I'm going to tell that story because I haven't laughed this hard in a really long time. So, Thomas's laptop, when did you get that piece of crap?
8 years ago.
8?
Because I got it my freshman year of high school.
Really? I feel like you've had it for longer. Okay. Anyway, Thomas's piece of garbage laptop has this thing where it'll pop up with, which, I mean, I guess is the case for most laptops, but not this period of time. But it'll give the battery as... I can't wait to hit puberty. It'll give the battery as low... notification, and then normally you have, what did you say, like a minute to... You
get like maybe like 10, like sometimes you get like 10 minutes maximum between...
Okay, well recently when I've seen it, you get at most like a minute and a half to go run and get your charger and plug it in, and then that thing's dying. We're watching Interstellar. We're like halfway through the movie at a pretty pivotal part of the film, I would say, when stuff is really starting to heat up. And because the notification for the low battery is red, because it's supposed to be this big alert, and it popped up on his TV because his laptop is plugged in the TV. It pops up on the TV, and I look over at Thomas to be like, man, you better go grab that charger. And it makes the boom noise for like when it's making the notification. I kid you not, I look at Thomas to give him that look of run to get your charger. it doesn't even finish the noise that it makes when the notification pops up. And out of the corner of my eye, I just see the TV go black. And I see the realization in Thomas's eyes. And he looks over at me. And we both give each other the same look of, what the heck just happened? Because like I said, it normally gives like a minute or two where you run over and grab the charger, but I said the noise didn't even finish. Thomas said he wasn't even able to read the message.
I didn't even read the message. I didn't even know what happened.
Even though we know that's what that meant, when I looked over at him and saw that he did not, he was just processing what he saw on the screen.
But the thing is, the problem is, it usually sends like 2 warnings. Like the first one, it says plugging your laptop is dying, and then the second one is like, all right, I'm dying now. Like, peace out. It just skipped the whole first message and said, I'm dying now. Like, it just...
Yeah, it just said deuces and just shut off. And then when he booted it back up, it closed all his windows, which normally it saves everything.
It usually like just goes to sleep, but like it's like it was completely dead.
Yeah, so at one of the more important parts of the movie, the world just told us, which actually, if any of you guys have seen the movie, because the movie's theme is talking about otherworldly presences that affect us, maybe that was one of them. It was telling us, go to sleep. But also, don't watch this movie
but
anymore.
Also, wouldn't that presence be us just saying that to us?
That's where you have to think, so.
Yeah, I said, let me go to sleep. You said, we got to record an episode.
Yeah, we finished the movie, and then Thomas was like, either A, let's go to bed, or B, let's watch some Naruto.
No, I said A, let's go to bed, or B, let's go get cookout, and then Naruto.
Yeah, which is still on the table, so.
Where was this option?
No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, and I was like, oh no, bro, we got to record an episode. I was like, dang it. Because we waited till the last minute to record this, so.
Well, I just forgot. I think we spent probably like 30 minutes laughing, which added probably an extra hour.
Yeah, I haven't. So, what made it worse, the more that I think about it, was we went and got Chick-fil-A. There was a basketball game today, and we went and got Chick-fil-A afterwards. And Thomas orders for a family of 4 for his Chick-fil-A order.
I do not.
It's a lot of food. You got to admit.
But like,
you a big boy, but
yeah,
it's a lot of food.
I'm a hefty man. I eat a lot.
But me just saying F it and trying to live life as best I can. I'm here for a good time, not a long time. Just order the same thing as he did. And his order is a Chick-fil-A sandwich, 8-piece nuggets, large fry, mac and cheese, and the drink. Which honestly is disgusting just thinking about, but eating it is a completely separate conversation. But yeah, I ate all of that, or most of it. All I had left was the mac and cheese, and I was eating that throughout the movie. And I just basically finished the mac and cheese, or what left I could eat. And then his laptop died, and we start dying laughing. And in the midst of me laughing, I think I'm going to throw up because the mac and cheese still hasn't digested in my stomach. So part of me kneeling on the floor was me laughing really hard, but it was also me fighting the urge to just vomit.
Really? I actually didn't know
I mean, not really, but my stomach, it was hurting from laughing, but at the same time, I was like, you better not come up, dang it.
But I think us laughing for that long made my appetite come back because I'm like really hungry again.
Oh, dear.
Because it's funny because like how you eat versus how I eat is like very different. Because like you were still eating the movie like throughout, and you're like, didn't you say you just finished eating the mac and cheese at the end of the movie?
Yeah.
I finished all my food within 30 minutes of the movie starting.
Yeah, you eat really fast. I don't know how. Because, like I said, that was like, this is terrible. I know, I understand. I would say I would fix it, but that's not going to happen. But that was like my second meal of the day. So
that was my second meal of the day, too.
What did you eat earlier?
Bojangles. That I had on campus.
Well, yeah, that was a legit meal. I just had like 15 pizza rolls. I told you. I went to the basketball game and I saw 2 I was about to say something weird.
Yo.
I saw 2 basketballs on the court at the same time because I was just like tripping. But yeah.
No, I had Bojangles when I was on campus after I got out of lifts because I needed to go study a little bit. I went to the library and I said, "F that, bro." The library for some reason was flaming hot in there. Like I walked in because outside was warm today, right? I walked in, it was like warmer than outside. I was so confused.
The dude you passed walking in just has steam coming off the back.
And he walks out, it just gets cold. I literally was so confused.
He said it was warmer.
I literally I was literally looking forward to go to the library because I was like hot as balls outside. And I walk in, it's warmer. And I'm like, bro, what?
Did they have, because there was one time where I went in there and they had little paper signs that said the AC was broken.
They're not there anymore.
It was just randomly hot for whatever reason. Was
Maybe-
the AC on? It couldn't have been if it was hot.
Maybe they just never fixed it. They just said F it and took down the sign.
they were just like, we don't want people not coming in here anymore. Let's just take the sign
It
off
was
the door.
so hot. Like I'm telling you, because that's when you texted me if I was at the crib, and I was sitting here like sweating my butt off, and I'm like, bro.
Also, that was hilarious.
What?
When I was like, "Are you here at the apartment?" And you just sent me your location. It wasn't. No, I'm not here. It was literally like idiot on my campus. I don't know why it was so funny to me.
Well, I think today was just a day of like funny events. I swear, because. Just Eddie, like the basketball game was funny because you like threw up your phone in front of me and you'd be like, "Hey, get on the raid," multiple times.
Oh, it was so funny. It honestly took me back to high school a little bit, which makes me want to go to the basketball games more. Do you remember in high school when you were cheering? I just do everything I could.
Like the football games and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm telling you, it made it more enjoyable because like my knees are miserable because I'm kneeling on the concrete the whole time.
Yeah.
And B, my coach is a little crazy. So what? Yeah, it's.
Yeah, man. She just looks mean. She's not good. Well, you have teammates that listen to this?
Yeah, but they don't care.
Okay. Well,
It's more for my coach. But yeah.
Does she listen to it?
Oh.
Yikes. Well, I don't know her, so I'm gonna say stuff about her.
Oh, go ahead.
But she looked mean. Like. I think because I think I saw her talking to your team, and then I guess I just didn't. I thought maybe she was one of the moms or something. I don't know. Is that messed up to say? Well, she's an older woman, so I don't know.
That's
if she
funny
was,
that you say she's a mom.
if she was somebody's mom or something. But no, I saw her. I guess talking to the team during the game, but I just never thought anything of it. And then I saw her after the game. And then I started piecing it together. I was like, oh, wait, is that the coach? And then she was talking to somebody. I was like, yo, you look mean as hell. Like, you don't look, like, enjoyable to be around.
She's not mean. She's a nice person. Not as a coach, though.
It's kind of like you have a workplace relationship and then a personal relationship kind of thing. So not as it pertains to cheerleading. She's cool. Or cooler, I guess, but as a coach, she's butt juice. Got you. I guess that makes sense.
I didn't confirm any of this, just so you know.
Thomas is giving me sign language right now because he's not. Yeah.
What is it?
Cock-a-digits. Yeah. So, shout out Craig if you're listening. If you're listening to this, Craig, because now I've actually talked to you. You're gonna laugh at this. Do any of your other teammates listen to this?
Mm-hmm. A few of my teammates do.
Like how
my
many
flyer,
would you say?
my flyer. One of my other friends, Allie. I think Michaela, maybe Bailey. Those people are the people that are like, oh, I listened to it for you, Thomas, and I'm like, thanks, but you should listen to it for the.
That's cute. So it's good to know that my other stuff, where it was just more led by me, y'all have been listening to. But that's cool. That's okay.
I feel like sometimes whenever I lead stuff, it just sounds like I don't know what I'm talking about.
No, it doesn't sound that way. It just is that way.
Okay.
That's good.
Right,
Shout out
Dahmer.
to you guys, though, you loyalists.
Mm-hmm.
I just say Craig because I've had the chance to speak to Craig, but thank you two ladies for listening to this, and thank you for promoting it, Thomas. So that
one of them's the curly hair one that you were talking about earlier.
You're dumb. You know what? No. Hold on. Before we continue, you could keep laughing. I'm not going to cut that. Because we have a chance to do that, and I'm not going to.
I don't care.
Damn it. Whatever. Craig,
What happened to censorship?
Craig probably... Huh?
What happened to censorship?
Damn, it's not that bad. I was about to say was, though, Craig's probably laughing his ass off right now. Because he's like, what, who... that's... He knows her, right?
Yeah.
Well, okay, I don't know why... I don't know why... I don't know why this has turned into a Craig conversation. So really shout out to you, Craig. So wait, what? I think Meg kind of explained it to me a little bit, but obviously you know more about it. So why wasn't he at the game today, or like cheering at it?
Well, so basketball, we can't have all the teams there.
Okay, that's what Meg said.
The whole team.
Yeah.
We can only have like a certain amount of people on the sidelines. He's gonna be at the game tomorrow.
The women's game.
Mm-hmm. So like,
are you gonna be at that? No.
Because there's so many basketball games that they have like throughout the week, and like once again they're randomly throughout the week. So like it could be Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. It could be like literally any day. And if everyone was there every single day, we would not get a break from practice or cheer because we have practice Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and football games on Saturday. So that's 4 days in the week. If basketball was included, that would be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
So we decided to split up the people, so like certain people have games. My next game is until the 26th. That I'll be there.
So not all the girls were there either?
Mm-hmm. Literally only like 12 people were there out of a team of 40.
There's that many people? Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was like 20 something.
We have 40 people on the team.
Oh, word? I literally had no idea. Interesting.
Maybe you should come to the football game and see.
Well, how many other... Is the whole team there?
Yeah, the football games, all the teams there. Like all of the true teams there.
Well, how many dudes are there in total? Because it's you, Craig, Germany.
Craig, Germ, RJ.
Oh,
Jaylen.
RJ. I totally forgot about RJ.
Yeah, Jalen, Jaden. There was another one, so right now 6. Yeah, 6.
What's her name? Zeta? Is that the... Hold on, you don't know where I'm going with this. Did she watch this?
No.
Or listen to
I don't
this?
think so.
Okay. Well, any of you that are watching that know it. Shout out to her in specific because even so, her falling was it was funny, but I'm not gonna say it in a sense of like, oh, she almost got hurt. Obviously, I'm not gonna paint it.
They
that
know
way.
what they're talking. They know what you're talking.
Yeah, she played that off like a champ. Like in the video, and I know you said she kind of like hit away for a second because she was really embarrassed. She played that off extremely well.
Yeah.
So good for her.
No, the MVP of that video is my friend Reagan. She's the one that like caught her. I don't know if you saw the video where she was like shaking her palm. She was like cheering, and she turns around. She sees her falling. She like runs over and like tries to help. She's MVP because she's also still injured, kind of technically.
Who?
Reagan, the one that.
Oh.
Yeah, she had like ankle surgery like not too long ago. Probably like I would say June, maybe a little bit earlier. And her recovery time was supposed to be by November, but because she's the MVP and a freaking GOAT, she rehabbed herself to be cleared September.
Damn.
Yeah. So she is a GOAT, and she's like completely healed now. Like she can do stuff again, which is freaking awesome because I'm just very proud of her. So, because doctors were like, yeah, like you won't be probably recovered until like November, December. She got recovered beginning of September, bro.
Sheer willpower.
For real. She would like text me like every other day, or, like, how do I like get it stronger? How do I get it better? And I'm like, just rehab, ice, be proactive, not reactive. And she did.
Be proactive, not reactive.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I've never heard that before.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I say it a lot in like athletic sense because
I was about to say, being the 3-sport athlete that I am, I've definitely heard that phrase several times.
I mean, you know what that means, right?
Yeah. Wait, what is it again? What's the phrase?
Be proactive, not reactive.
I mean, I feel like I could probably put it together.
But
sure, go ahead and explain it. for the audience.
So being proactive means doing things to recover even if you feel like you're fine versus waiting till you get injured and then reacting to that injury.
Yes. That's where I was going with that. That makes sense. I was thinking something along those lines, but yeah.
So like it's better to like if you feel something hurting, even though it might not be like an injury, it's better to just take care of it anyways and like, heal it, do all you need to do for rehab versus just letting it get worse, and then once it gets worse, then you react to it. Because like that's like one of the biggest problems with athletes is that they just kind of shove off their pain because they think it's not bad. Like I can still do stuff right now versus like even though it's not bad, I'd rather stop it now versus like dealing with it later. So, and she did that. She was a champ, 100%. So.
You know what's funny is at the basketball game today, and I don't think any of the basketball players listen to this, so that's why I feel like I have the clarity of speaking about this. But I'm also not about to like duke on anybody.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
It looked, but I'm also nowhere near the height that these dudes are, so
they're very tall.
This is coming from obviously a place of ignorance, but it looked a lot easier than it is.
Like the game?
Like, yeah. Because I told you at the end of the game, I don't know too much about college schemes and stuff or plays. I don't know a lot about official NBA plays and stuff like that either. Mm-hmm. But the way that the offense was set up, because so for the NBA and just kind of basketball in general, there's a lot of off-ball movement and setting up of the plays, which I guess I wasn't really paying attention to. I was more focused on who had the ball. But I don't know. There were times where it just looked like they were just playing pickup, like against each other. Like they were just kind of running around trying to get open, kind of.
It was basically like that, but like.
And oh my goodness, our defense was god awful. Like,
yeah.
At a good majority of the times, dudes would be booty naked open in the corner. And they would pass it to him. And I just look around like...
The biggest thing that I've learned about Charlotte's defense, especially with their basketball team, is that it's not more about coverage. It's more about, what you call it?
Playmaking? Is that where you're going?
No, for our defense, it's more like coverage versus contested. Do you know how, like, I'm only basing this off of 2K when I play 2K.
I was about to say that's definitely 2K.
You know how like in 2K like you have people like you have more than one person covering you? What is
like
it?
Doubling?
Yeah. So like what they do, like Charlotte does, they do a lot of doubling and tripling up on certain people.
I mean, yeah, I guess that makes sense as to why those dudes were wide
open. Why they're wide open a lot of times because it usually works out for the most part, but sometimes it doesn't. And a lot of times it doesn't, actually.
Well, also, I need to look up who number 3 was in the team. Because that guy's a future point guard in the NBA. That dude, bro, his bag was deep.
I think me and you should go to the Davidson game. I think that would be...
I really want to, actually.
Because when I watch...
I want to see some good basketball, and then I want to see Charlotte.
Bro, when I tell you, last year, because the Davidson game was at, like, Charlotte last year. When I tell you, there was this one guy... I don't know his name, but apparently he was on road to NBA. Like he was like drafting for the NBA. Like
that plays for Davidson?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That dude was Charlotte's father, bro. Like he,
Daddy Davidson.
Bro, that guy alone probably pulled up like 40 points that night, alone.
Yeah, I was looking at the stat sheet after the game, and the points were just pretty spread out. Like there wasn't one player in specific that just kind of went up, which honestly is better if you look at it in terms of just the team sport that basketball is. You're just distributing the points and not one person. I mean, it's more exciting that way if you just see one person just kind of popping off. There was one play though, I don't know if you remember this. I'm pretty sure it was during the first half, where we had really good ball movement. Like, we just kept passing around.
I did see that.
And I was just sitting there in my seat like, oh, this is so nice. And then we scored off of it. And have you met Jordan before?
Jordan?
Yeah, that was her name. So
Meg's friend?
Yeah, so I went to the game with our neighbor, Meg, who, if you're listening to this, Meg, hello.
Love you, Meg.
Yeah, love you, Meg. she was with her friend Jordan. Have you met Jordan before?
Yeah, I've met her. I've met her once. There was one time, Meg was dropping me off at the airport, and Jordan was in the car, and like she just didn't really say much because she was on her phone, and I guess she was just letting me and Meg catch up because I haven't talked to her like Meg in a long time. But yeah, I met her like once or twice. I didn't recognize her when I first saw her today. I was like, "Who's this?" And I was just like,
knowing you, that tracks.
yeah, I was like, "Who's this?" And I was like, I had to like, I pieced it together once we got into my car. That's when I pieced it together.
You're like, you turn around. Oh, that's who that is.
Yeah.
But no, it was funny because, and I'm not saying this because she's a woman. Like, no, nobody take it that way. But it was funny to me because we were sitting there watching the game. Because, okay, like, Meg watches football and she knows, like, she has watched basketball, but she doesn't. There's certain terminology and stuff that you talk about games, like baseball, for instance. I've just recently started picking up baseball and getting into baseball. I'm trying to learn what certain stuff means, but if somebody brought something up to me, like, what? That doesn't even make sense. Jordan was sitting on my right, and like I said, it's not because she's a woman or anything, but we were watching the game, and she said stuff like, oh man, they're playing man defense or whatever. And she was saying stuff like spread the ball out and stuff like that, using some like deep terms. I understood what she was saying, but I kind of looked at her like, damn, you know more about this than I thought she did. But like, I don't know her.
Well,
so.
you also have to know, even though, well, also Jordan and Meg used to work for basketball. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, not just that, but they're friends with like all those people basically, or friends with people that are close to those people.
Well, that's because they work basketball and now they work football, so they know like a lot about football too as well.
Yeah.
But where was I going with this? I did have something. Oh, I forgot.
Well, to finish what I was saying, I just thought it was funny because most of the stuff that she was talking about, I understood. It was just like, I think it was more like I didn't even really have to preface the fact that she's a woman. I think it was more just I've never been to a sporting event where people talk about that in-depth stuff that I know. So I was just more like, I wanted to cry because I was like, oh,
you're so proud.
I understand these things. Or like, you understand that you appreciate the game as much as I do. But no, and then she would say some stuff that I didn't understand. I was like, yeah, what the heck? What does that mean? But yeah, no, she was right. And then, I'll tell you something funny. So I think they were there with, it was Meg, Jordan, and then their friend Miles, I think was his name. And
was that the kid at the end next to Jordan?
Yeah.
Oh.
And there was a dude in front of us, and I think they were talking about Chris Reynolds, our quarterback, because they all work for football. They don't work for basketball. Yeah. And I think they were talking about Chris Reynolds. And the dude, there was a guy sitting in front of us because they were kind of like trashing on him. And the guy sitting in front of us was like, he's our best player. And I think Miles just looked at him like, yeah, buddy, sure. And they were all like, he's not bad. It's just, it's time for a change, I think is what they said. But I looked at the guy, because I think I know what Chris looks like. And I looked at the dude that was sitting in front of us, and he might be related to Chris. So that might have been like his brother or something.
Well, you know his brother plays on the football team too.
Is there a way you could pull up a picture of what he looks like?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's dating one of my his brother's dating one of my teammates.
I don't think it was like a member of his family or something, but I thought that was funny because I pieced it in my head. I was like, yo, maybe this guy's related to him, and the people behind him are just like, man, Chris Reynolds sucks. So
see, okay, hold on real quick.
Wait, does he wear glasses?
I don't know. I've only met him once.
Oh, okay.
Let me preface this. Chris Reynolds is a good player.
We've talked about.
Yeah,
like, obviously, I want you to finish. We talked about this. From what I've seen, he's not bad.
Yeah, he's a good player. It just doesn't help that he's Patrick Mahomes every game so far.
Yeah, he's just running for his life.
He's running for his life. When I tell you this man plays like 4 positions every game. Like, he's either quarterback, running back, or O-line. Like, he can't do all positions.
F it, I'll block myself.
Like, he can't do anything.
You see him throw the ball, he's like, that's not going anywhere. And you see him catch it on the other side. You're like, what the?
Like, I'm telling you, our O-line just can't, like, either can't make a pocket for him or hit the running backs, can't defend him. Like, I'm telling you, our fumbles are okay. Literally, the game. Okay, this is very bad, but the game that me and like some of my teammates play is, let's count the amount of fumbles and interceptions we have this game. Last game we had three interceptions and fumbles in total together. The game before that was 8. So,
Good Lord.
And that's because that's not him. Like, he just has to like Hail Mary and throw it. Just literally this one play I remember, and I was like, he literally could not do anything. Chris was getting chased for his life. He was on the line. He was trying to pass the ball, but it was to the point where his O-line just said,
just let them
there was like
pass.
2 defensive linemen chasing him, and literally he was going to lose yards if he got like sacked. So he literally just chucked it to the ground.
You gotta do it sometimes.
I know. And everyone's like, oh, come on, you gotta throw it. I'm looking at them like, bro, he's running for his life. What do you expect him to do?
That's why I need to go to one of these football games, because as funny as it is, because I'm a realist when it comes to sports, and the Panthers are just trash. Like, there's no way of getting around it. Like, the Bengals spanked us this past week. The Hornets, God bless them, they've gotten better, like, especially with LaMelo coming to the team, but the teams I root for are just bad. And before they got good, which is, I love doing this, the Hurricanes were garbage. Like, when I was going to those games with my dad years ago, we went purely for enjoyment and not actually,
for the actual game.
Not actually to be like, oh man, the Hurricanes, that would have put them in playoff contention, stuff like that. I love making fun of how bad our sports teams are, especially the ones that I root for. But I'm a realist, and I try my best to just kind of be like, okay, he's working with what he has. But also, yeah, so that's why I want to go to one of these football games and be like, okay, yeah, you're right. Chris is doing everything in his power.
I'm telling you, like, our next game is not this coming Saturday, but it's next Saturday. So I definitely think you should go. And since your schedule probably isn't out yet, request that thing off.
That's probably not going to happen. I'll try my best. Or if I open, I'll probably be able to go.
Well, you know our games are early now, right?
What?
I told you our games are like early in the day now.
What time?
Either 12 or 3. Because last week's game, or like this past Saturday, was at 12.
Well, we'll see what happens, I guess. I want to go. I really do. But just...
Hey, Matt. I feel sick today.
I got that football fever.
I got that tailgate fever.
Well, he said that because... Never mind. I'm not going to say that. I'll tell you what I was going to say afterwards, but I can't say it. Yeah, that was about it for the plan material that I had. I will say, though, too, to bring it back down to earth and to switch gears, because we could probably end it because we're almost at 40 minutes. This is going to be a shorter episode just because we don't really have a subject. But
losing brain cells.
I told you, huh?
I'm just losing brain cells as the minute goes by.
Oh, so you're in the negative. That was a stray. I apologize. I didn't mean that. Even though you were coming for my life earlier today. This man was just dishing insults, and I didn't deserve any of them.
I literally woke up this morning and chose violence. I don't know why. I think I was just feeling mean.
Yeah, you called me like an incel and stuff like that.
I called you other things, too.
Yeah.
Put the glasses on. Let me get the comparison real quick.
Yeah, okay. Can we even make that joke? We get demonetized for that.
I think we get monetized.
You right. This man called me Jeffrey Dahmer earlier today. And that... we're just going to leave that. That could be an insult in a couple different ways, but...
Homeboy called it... No, I'm not going to say that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We can't... This man called me a serial killer, but... yeah, yesterday was a pretty interesting day for me. It started off kind of... I didn't really talk a whole lot, and then it got better. Because I kind of came to my senses a little bit, and I also talked to 2 of my sisters yesterday on the phone. I talked to... Well, you were there for one of them, but I talked to Britt first because we were all going to have our little sibling talk with each other, just catching up and seeing what's going on. Because, I mean, it makes me sad a little bit because, like, I haven't really talked to my sister a whole lot recently, and I mean, to no fault of anybody in particular, because with Britt being on the other side of the country and just everybody's schedules, we haven't really had the time to talk to each other. If you're listening to this, I don't know if you watch these things, but we need to talk, because not about anything in specific, just in general, because I talked to Liv last night. So, Mom, if you're listening to this, I did talk to Liv, because I know that you've been wanting me to. But I talked to Britt and Liv yesterday, so if you guys listen to this, love you guys. It was good to talk to you. We definitely need to do it more. Like I said, we need to talk to.
Yeah, we need to talk to
Yeah, and the kitties. I miss you guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, yesterday was interesting. It started off kind of weird. I was in an interesting place mentally, and then it got better. And I think part of it had to deal with. I know I talk about this all the time, and you can attest to this too, just with me bringing it up. And the reason that I bring it up is just because of what happened yesterday. But I think I take for granted, or sometimes I just forget how fortunate I am to have such amazing people in my life sometimes. And one of the people that kind of helped pull me out of my funk a little bit was Zuri, who we've talked about on the podcast before, and she's been on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So I have no shame in telling this in person, Zuri, and I meant to yesterday, but I do appreciate what your friendship means to me, and you being able to help me come out of the quote-unquote funk that I was in yesterday, because I told myself that I was just kind of, yes, it warms you up a little bit, doesn't it? Because your room is cold as balls.
It's not that cold.
But
wait, aren't balls as warm? Sorry.
I told we might cut. I told myself that shut up. I told myself that I wasn't really in a funk, and I told you that I wasn't in a funk, but I don't know. I was just kind of in a weird spot mentally, and for you to kind of pull me out of the hole that I put myself in, and you not even really trying, really meant a lot, so I appreciate it. And then a conversation that I had with somebody before I left work also pulled me out of the hole, but I can tell you about that later. Might be hurting myself doing it, but I can't help who I am, so. Anyway, you know what So, but yeah, that was just kind of a little glimpse, maybe pulling back a little bit to the theme of what this podcast is about, because I know we just had a whole big sports talk, and some of the people that listen to this don't like sports at all. So
well, it's funny because the structure really went out the window, because I think this podcast should just be titled ADHD, because we went from one topic to another one over here, to one up here, back here, and back down up here.
Well, I think this is really honestly the first episode, other than the one that we were going to release, that there's no really perspective per se. It's just kind of
there was still some perspective, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean,
like Chris.
Okay. Yeah. Perspective Podcast, episode 6, Chris.
QB of Charlotte.
Yeah, no. But yeah, this one was just more us talking, I guess, and didn't really have a central theme to it, which honestly I kind of liked in a way. Also, for whoever's listening to this, let us know about the length of it, and if we should make more of them around 45 minutes or so, because the past ones have been
about
on average like an hour and 15.
Like hour and some change, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm curious, because that's actually what Britt was telling me yesterday. She was like, yeah, I love listening to them, but they do be long sometimes. So I was like, yeah.
I thought an hour is like fine, because like,
well, hour and 15 is, from what I've seen, like the average time for podcasts.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
I think she was going more based off of the first episode.
Yeah, our first episode
that was
like
almost 2 hours.
Was it like 2.5 hours?
No, it was an hour and 46 minutes, I think. So it's just below 2 hours. But yeah, that one was definitely longer than, I would say longer than what it should have been, but
the whole movie, bro.
I mean, these episodes could be 4 hours long. Like, we could just continue 100%. To talk forever. But always. For you guys' sake, and for our viewership's sake,
and sometimes for my sanity's sake too.
Yeah, we're just gonna try and keep it a reasonable amount of time. So, yeah. Did you have any closing
Well, I was gonna say, did you want to end with with the song again?
Yeah, well, I was gonna do that, but I was just curious if you had anything recently, just quickly, that happened to you
In
at
my
all.
life, well, trying to think.
All right, and that's all the time we. No, I'm
Yeah,
just kidding. I'm just kidding. That
I mean,
way.
I don't think there is really much going on right now. Like, I have a lot of like personal things going on, but like that's not gonna be shared a lot. I mean, the only thing I could
This
think,
is the place to share it, brother. Some of it, maybe not, but
not these things.
well, we could save that for next week.
Yeah.
Then.
Yeah, and then there's some cheer stuff. I already told you about the cheer stuff, but I mean, I don't think it's a good time to publicize it just yet.
Yeah.
So
Word.
that'd be next week.
All right. Do you already have a song?
I have like a few, but I haven't narrowed it down. But do you have one?
I mean, I guess I could just do kind of the recency, if you know where I'm gonna go with that.
If we're gonna say the same song, we might as well just say it.
What is your song's? Who's your song by?
Who do you think my song is by?
Well, it's between two people, probably.
I mean, yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna go first, so I can steal it from you if it's the right way.
Let's just say it at the same time. Ready?
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Die
Swimming
for
in my
you.
head.
Aw.
Okay. Was that one of them that you were considering?
Yeah, that was.
Okay, so mine, I guess I'll just go first. I mentioned it in the journal that just never got released, but one of our favorite bands, Harbor, released a song called Swimming in My Head, which A, has a really good message, but B, they teased it about a week before, and I really like the melody, so that's my song.
My song is by Joji, and he released a new album this week. Was it this week or like last? It was like this past week. It was on Friday, right?
It was the 4th.
So Friday. Okay.
Yeah.
He released an album called Smithereens, and I already heard like one of the songs on the Smithereens album because he released it as a single. But the song that I've been listening to a lot recently is called "Die for You," which is actually his number 3 most trending song currently right now.
Oh, is it really?
Mm-hmm.
I see.
But "Die for You" is a really good song. I mean, 11 million people have heard of it already. So, if you haven't listened to it, it's really good. It's basically about a song where it's like a breakup, and the guy in the breakup is happy for the girl because, you know, she's happy, and he continues to be happy for her regardless if he's in pain or not. So,
It's one of those songs it's kind of, because if I didn't pick Swimming in My Head, it was between those two. But I put on my Instagram that's one of the most harmonically beautiful songs that I've ever listened to, because
Mhm.
it's just not just the lyrics, but I think it's like an echoey piano almost, like in the beginning. I don't know what the musical term for that is. But yeah, like in the beginning and then kind of a little bit later in the song, it's almost a piano that's just in the background that you can hear. It's just
Mhm.
a really, really good melody. So, but yeah, it's one of those songs where it's one of those, I'm glad that you're happy, but it's a bittersweet, like, but I wish it was with me kind of thing. So,
Well, my thing is, I'm I was kind of surprised that you kind of forgot or like don't know the term for like the echoey piano, since homeboy over here is starting to dabble in some music.
I've been mashing up some beats in the lab.
Yeah,
GarageBand got me going crazy.
Well, I came home from like practice or something one day, and he said, "Hey, you want to hear my tunes I made?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" He said, "I made a whole tune, probably like a fire song on GarageBand."
It's going number 1 when I release it too. It's gonna be in the Mario movie when it comes out.
It sounds like a Mario song.
It does sound like a Mario beat, but it is
But
pretty
it's,
fun.
it's not gonna lie, it's fire. Well, you gotta name it. You gotta figure out what to name it. Though.
If you you know what? Okay, whoever's listening to this, if 5 people say they want to hear it, I'll put it at the beginning of next week's episode.
Yeah, you gotta
So don't tell anybody to do that
Well,
on their own willpower.
But you act like I'm gonna remember.
Yeah, you're right. On their own willpower, if 5 people say they want to hear the beat, I'll release it.
Yeah, you can either text me or call and say I want to hear the music,
Yeah.
and we'll count it.
Um.
Or we can just do the thing that, you know how back in like middle or high school, they're like 5 screenshots and I'll do it type thing.
Yeah. 10 screenshots and I'll do a push up for every screenshot or whatever it is.
No, I saw one. It was like one screenshot, and I'll jump off this cliff, and it was the guy that screenshotted his own Snapchat.
Yes.
Morbid.
Yeah, this was our episode, and this was our message. So thank you guys for sticking around.
What was the message?
We didn't have one. I just felt like saying that. Okay. But man, shut up. just let it roll. You ain't gotta bring it up, man. Come on.
Hey, just like you said, I'm a realist. I gotta be real.
Gotta ground me.
Yeah, bro.
I just get into this super deep introspective state, and I just say stuff. And sometimes you just come back, man, that make a lick of sense.
And I'm over here like, oh.
I wonder too. Sometimes I say something you're like, whoa, but in the back of my head, you're like, this boy don't know what he's talking about.
You sound like me, episode 3, bro.
Episode 3 is forever cemented in history. It's just the time where Tom was just like, so, relationship or something, I don't know.
Relationship, money.
And you just hear in the background at one point. But
this episode, you just hear me laughing the whole time, honestly.
Yeah. You should just pull up your computer dying again.
Oh, no. I wish, like, I vividly, like, replay that moment in my head now. Like, I can still see
it's
it.
It's a core memory. Well, I guess there was no message, but this was our episode. So thank you guys for watching. And yeah, it's our episode. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you guys next week.
See ya.
Peace.